All right, I'm just checking to see if we are live. We should be. Hello, everybody. Oops, we're on private. We're going to switch that to public. Okay. So we should be live. Hello. Welcome back to the Admiral Murphy channel. Give me 1 second to send out the link and we should be good to go. Because I do want to send out a link to all you lovely people out there. Here we go with the link. Hype. Miso ruined Star Wars. Yeah, probably. Though I don't know. I haven't seen any of the recent Star Wars shit because I don't care for Star Wars. So I haven't looked into it at all. I'm just going to type live because I remember my keyboard can be loud. So let's see. What'd it do? Hello. Yeah, I haven't watched any of the latest Star Wars stuff. I've heard the last one was really mixed, so I've avoided it just because I haven't liked the Star Wars stuff as of late. So, second like here. Thank you, Dylan. Well, hello, everybody. It's been a bit. I wanted to do a live stream for you guys because there were a couple stories I wanted to cover, but none of them felt worthy of a video themselves. So I was like, I'll just talk about them. But yeah, thanks for everybody who's been subscribing and helping the channel. I'm very happy that I was able to get over 1,000 subscribers. That was my goal. So thank you to everybody who helped with that. Will you do another documentary on the next phase of the peasants? I will. Let's see. I might. So here's the thing that was the main reason I did the last documentary. And that's really because of all the sagas. If you watch Drunken Peasants, there were like all these sagas of all these villains and different YouTube characters that were like kind of followed through all the episodes. And I think that was the big reason why not only did people like the show, but that was why I think it was worth making a documentary because there was a lot there. There was a history to the show that if you were trying to get into the podcast halfway through, you couldn't. It was hard for you to follow, so I wanted to make a video series because people had talked about it for a while, something to help new people get into the show. So that was one of the main reasons. If the reboot of Drunken Peasants has a similar thing, I might later, if it's worth making a documentary, I probably will. As of right now, I do want to move on to some other projects and other documentaries and videos and stuff, so that's where I'm kind of focused now. Especially because I think it was good when I started the last DP documentary series that there had been so much out there already. I noticed when I caught up, it wasn't... It was a little harder to do the series then. It's a lot easier to look back on it in retrospective after there's been quite some time. I don't know what to feel about the recent DP announcement. The show has been on a decline for a while. You know, I was somebody who was kind of okay with DP ending originally. So, but I mean, I'm going to be okay with it continuing. We'll see how it goes. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And there's tons of shit on YouTube you can watch if you don't really care for it. What's the recent announcement? Well, I guess I'll say before I get into any of my my content I've prepared for you lovely folks. There was an announcement that tonight, DP Season 2 Episode 2 should be coming out. So people who were excited for that, you can catch that tonight. I forget the exact time or any of that. I just saw that that is being announced. So if you are unaware, be sure to catch that tonight if you were somebody who looked forward to that. Okay. So, what have I been up to? Well, it was my birthday last Friday, so happy birthday me. Here was my cake. So you guys can check that out there. Otherwise, I've been very... one of the YouTube series I have been meaning to work on, it was supposed to come out this week, but it hadn't because of rendering problems on my end. As I wanted to give you guys a review of the 5 Star Trek series and ranking them. I'm not counting Discovery because that's getting its own video series here in a bit. My girlfriends love your docs more than DP, but that's because they never seen any crazy episodes live. I know a lot of people actually said towards the end they liked the documentary more than the podcast. So I definitely appreciate the people who said that. it was a fun series to make. But yeah, so I want to do a ranking of the Star Trek documentary, or the Star Trek series for you guys. Speaking of documentaries, though, I do want to do one on Discovery and talk about that, because I'm definitely very opinionated on that. Richard says DS9 was my favorite. I agree. Deep Space Nine was a great series. I won't say where it is, because I'm going to say next week where it's ranked. But I am going to do a video each day of the week. Now that I think I've got all the problems sorted out, talking about each of the Star Trek series. And then once Discovery wraps up here and it has finished its run of season 1, I will give my full opinions on that series. I know everybody's been very conflicted on it, and so have I. So I want to talk to people about that. I don't know if I'll do a live stream for that or a full feature where I edit it and do sort of like a documentary on it, because I want to review it, and I want to talk about its messy history of its production, because if somebody who's done video production, when you see the mess they had trying to get that series out, you can definitely follow that. Thank you for the birthday wish, Dylan. But yeah, so I did that. This week, let's see what I've been up to. I have been running the Curse of Strahd D&D campaign with a group. We did that for my birthday, so that has been fun. So I think I have a session tomorrow running that, so that's something I've been doing to keep busy. Otherwise, I have been trying to run a couple old Star Trek games. I struck out. I tried to run 3 different games, and none of them I could get to work. Star Trek Deep Space Nine Dominion Wars, The Fallen was another one, and Star Trek Legacy. All of them I failed to get running. I could get The Fallen to run on a tiny window. Imagine, you can see my Instagram pic here. The window's about that size. I can get the game to play. If I try to make it any bigger, it fails. And then the graphics on it look like crap. So I've been trying to get all of those to run because I'm very nostalgic for them. But yeah, I tried to get any of those to work, and none of them worked. And so thanks, Windows 10, for that stuff. I wish they could do a mini-series about it, like a Cleon ship, or some of the major battles in the Dominion Wars. I don't know what you're talking about there. I might have said something that triggered that. I'm confused, but I probably would agree. I am closed. I'm sorry. We put up the close sign. We're done. Thanks. Happy belated birthday. Thanks. Sorry. Okay. So let's talk about some of the news that's been going around, because I'm opinionated on this shit. And so the first big one was everybody's quite aware of our favorite State of the Union. That was fun to watch. I don't know who here watched the State of the Union, but I did. And every year I watch it, I regret it, because you never get terribly much out of it. I will say, compared to Obama's last year, I found this one a lot more intolerable to watch. And it really wasn't because of anything Trump specifically said. I always find it kind of empty. None of this really is like telling you much. It just seems like a lot of propaganda to me. So I never really am that vested in the State of the Union, but I end up watching it anyway, since I do follow politics. But I think the thing that annoyed me most was all the clapping. I feel like a lot of people commented on the clapping part, and I'm sorry. If I want to listen to the content of the speech, not a sentence of the speech, and then like a minute of clapping. I just, honestly, since it was background noise, I was able to get through it then. But if it hadn't have been background noise, I definitely would have turned it out. I know my mom said she turned it off just because it was like, eh. It definitely takes away from it, but it was kind of a mess. Let's see. Where did you learn to make your content? Did you attend a tech school? I went to the Institute of Pitt in 2010 and 11, but didn't finish. I learned a lot of what I did on my own. Like in middle school, I'd say I was one of those kids running around just with a video camera recording stuff and editing it in iMovie. So it was a lot of trial and error. Like, I don't have any of those videos anymore. I probably do on an old hard drive, but I don't think they're edited. But they're crappy. I'm not going to put them out there for you people. But yeah, so I learned a lot from that, and I kind of got an interest there. So then in high school, I did a little bit. We did a live news show. I ran teleprompter for that. I didn't bother to go on camera because I have social anxiety, so I didn't want to appear on camera live. As you can see, I've gotten past that now. But yeah, so I did go to college for that. But talking about my college experience in video editing would be a whole video in and of itself. So maybe I'll talk about it eventually. I did do, there's a place called Pittsburgh Filmmakers in Pittsburgh. That's where I went first. So seeing that you went to the Institute of Pitt, I assume you were close by. But yeah, I went there first, and I did not have a good experience. So then I transferred, and I finished out my degree there. But that one was a digital media degree, so I learned to do a lot more than just video editing. That part when I transferred was a better experience. But yeah, so I listened to the State of the Union. That was kind of a little meh. The part I think I have more to say on was definitely the Kennedy rebuttal. Here we go with his lovely drool. I didn't notice this at first when I was watching, but then people were commenting on it. I was like, oh yeah, that does kind of look like drool, which I thought was great because I did not care for his speech that much. I thought it was kind of bad. So everybody probably saw my Justice Democrats video a while ago, and like I still have my problems with them as an organization, but I like the candidates more, and so I still kind of fall into that camp. So yeah, a lot of them probably didn't like his speech, and I'm kind of in that ball camp. I felt it was kind of like, he didn't really say much, and it was funny because I watched it, and people were joking, oh, he's going to talk about Russia a lot. Did not take him long to get into Russia. So that's kind of when I wrote him off, because I just don't care for the whole Russia story. It's been done to death at this point. I care more about policy. And when you break down what he was talking about, he said very little on policy substance. I did listen to Bernie's rebuttal. I liked that a lot more because he actually had things with substance to say. So I liked hearing that a lot more. But yeah, I just felt the State of the Union was very uninteresting. If you're somebody who doesn't watch it, you're not really missing out. Of course, there's funny stories like this, and I'm just gonna go back to Trump because I'm tired of. I'm getting distracted by the drool. I don't even know what that is. It's either like chapstick or makeup or something. I don't know, but it is really distracting. So we'll go back to the Trump pictures here. The thing I will say about the State of the Union that I found interesting is definitely how people are breaking it down party lines on how they received it. It's funny because when I watched it, I felt the Democrats, like, I don't care about the whole stand up and clap part, but I just thought it was funny because to me, when I was watching it, I felt the Democrats were clapping a lot for things they didn't support or had caved on. And so that's how I kind of looked at it. Like, I was like, oh, they're caving, they're clapping at everything and blah, blah, blah. And then the Republicans, I see their stance and like, oh, the Democrats sat for most of this and they didn't clap for any of it. So there's that. So I thought it was funny that people definitely had a completely different look at this one event, and it was kind of divided upon party lines, I felt. So I don't know. What did you guys think of the State of the Union? How did you guys feel about it? Any of you watch it here? Or were you lucky enough to ignore it? TJ supercut of it was decent. I have not seen the supercut of it. I watched it live, but that was about it. I haven't watched a lot of coverage. I think I watched some of Secular Talk's videos on it. I watched his response to the Kennedy speech, and I definitely agreed with that there. But yeah, otherwise, the State of the Union wasn't too exciting. You didn't miss out. Let's talk about another story here. So this one I noticed throughout the week, and I had some comments on it. So if you haven't heard this, you might have. There was this girl in Tennessee who got suspended from her school for daring to make an anti-bullying video that hurt the principal's feelings. So there was that. I don't even know where to start on this one. I think it was like the response was ridiculous. When you saw the principal's response, it was kind of like they had to backpedal because it looks really bad when you talk about suspending a student because your feelings were hurt. So they kind of said, oh, it was because she made the video on school grounds without permission. So I have no clue what their rules are. I know at my high school we were allowed to film because we had a TV club, so we were free to go around school and film. At least that's what I was made aware it was allowed, but that's my school. Their school could be completely different. But it definitely doesn't look good on this school when this happened. And to me, this story just looked more like a failure of our public school system to kind of deal with this issue. I I was somebody who was bullied a bit in middle school, not so much in high school, but a little bit in middle school. And I can say the school district was very poor at handling it. Their solution in high school was to take time out of the actual education programs. They would cut like 5 minutes or so, less than that, out of each class during the day and make it like a window after our homeroom period where we'd get together and talk about a different aspect of bullying. And this was to solve the bullying problem in high school. And yeah, that to me, it didn't help at all because you have more luck with kindergartners at that point. I feel like if you did a classroom setting to teach about bullying, I just kind of treated it as a joke. And that was kind of their way to make it look like they were solving the issue. So I feel really bad for this kid. But since it's gone viral, hey, you can definitely use this story to your advantage here. So use that and run with it because this is just a ridiculous story. I feel really bad about it because I do think like bullying in school is a problem and it's something that needs to be handled, but I don't know exactly how you go about it. Now I'm going to feel bad if you leave a mean comment. How unfortunate. You can leave a mean comment if you want. I definitely, like, at some point, you eventually have to kind of suck it up and deal with it, especially people online. But definitely in school, if a school wants to actually deal with the problem, they have to handle it a lot better. And the way I see schools going about it is just... It makes it look like they're trying to solve the problem for like a PR reason, but not an actual, let's solve the problem because our students deserve the problem solved with. A fun story that my brother had was, so at our school, they had so a lot of people from Korea would come over here for like a year or two to work. So their kids would come to our school. And apparently, the last day one of these kids was here, he got into a fight with my brother and he didn't beat the crap out of him, but it got physical. And my brother didn't fight back because, in his opinion, if he fought back, it made him look bad, and he'd get in trouble for it, and he didn't want to get in trouble for it. However, the school decided, oh, you must have instigated the problem because that's why somebody would attack you. So he ended up getting suspended as well for getting attacked. And I thought that was hilarious because when you think about it, schools are always like, you shouldn't fight back against the bully. You should just report it to administration. They'll handle it. At least that's what my school was saying. And then they did the exact opposite. They're like, no, you should fight back because you're going to get in trouble anyway. So, yeah. But I just, like, ever since I heard that story, I've been very skeptical about how schools handle the situation. So I saw this story, and I was definitely kind of like, wow, really? I only fuck with people until they actually show signs of distress or making fun of them uncomfortable. Yeah, I think that's something with online a lot of people have to take to heart. Definitely people, if you go online, you're going to get trolled. People are going to make fun of you for various things. I have. I think you just kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. Plus, you just troll them back. That's been more fun. Like, my favorite comment this week was somebody was ranting about my DP video on the whole situation about whether they were hacked or not. And they're like, oh my God, people, it was a hack. Get over it. Or it wasn't a hack. This is old news. Get over it. And it was funny because this person left the comment on the video like 3 weeks after I made the video. So I just trolled them back. But that's the favorite part about the internet is people being dumb. Speaking of being dumb, this one was also another story I found was interesting. People are definitely talking about it. Just joining, plan to continue the DP series. I talked about it earlier. I'll just say it again here, maybe. It depends how good season 2 is. If it has a lot of stuff to talk about, I probably will. Who knows? But yeah, so you've probably heard about this story going around. The Formula One bans the grid girls. I don't watch Formula One, nor do I care about racing. I find it very boring. And maybe that's because I come from America and we have NASCAR. And who cares about NASCAR? They just drive around in circles. So... But I think the response to this has been the more interesting thing to follow because you've definitely seen a divide among feminists. Because feminists are always like, hey, women power, let's let women do what they want. And then some of them came out for this, and it's like, no, we can't let you be sex objects, even if you want to be, because it's a bad example for women. So you should lose your livelihood because we said so. So I definitely like the response a lot of these grid girls are making to feminists who aren't defending them in this, because it's definitely messed up. I don't think you should lose your job in the name of gender equality, something from like that. Sometimes they catch fire or crash. That's definitely the best part about racing. It's kind of like hockey. I don't watch hockey. Hockey's really boring to me, but the fights are where it's at. And it's always funny when I hear people talking about, hey, let's get rid of the fights. They're dumb. The Carls, not the girls. Yeah, no, that's what I said. I don't think that actually would be an interesting sport though. If the grid girl, no, they shouldn't catch on fire. That'd be mean. But that now I have that image in my head, and now that's really fucked up. The only people against grid girls are the sex negative feminists who are too focused on bringing people down instead of elevating others. If they were really advocating for equality, they would have demanded for there to be grid boys. Yeah, honestly, like that's the whole thing. It's like it's grid girls right now, mainly because it is definitely a male dominated sport. But like, as long as they were fine with having like grid boys, like for female racers or something, whatever. Like, who gives a shit? People enjoyed it, and these women clearly liked what they were doing, and they got paid for it. Like my favorite comment for this story that I saw was somebody was like, "Oh, but now you can work on a college degree, and you can do something productive like engineering, or you can do like mathematics or something." And it's like, what if that's not what they want to do? What if they were completely fine making money this way? Like, who are you to tell a woman or anybody how to make their money? That's the part that I find really funny about these type of feminists, is like when they want to tell women how they can use their body. Like I'm curious what those people, their opinion is on the whole. Everybody's probably aware of it, like the whole like fat shaming thing. Like you have all these people on Instagram that are like models and stuff. Are they going around to these women and being like, no, don't model, don't be a sex object? Because that's wrong. Don't sexualize yourself like that. It was just a really messed up story. I feel bad. I like definitely the way this has been handled by the company too. I don't know if it was the company doing this for PC reasons, or if they just didn't want to pay them anymore, and they're like, this isn't that important to us. We'll get rid of it. But I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. You guys have any opinions on this story otherwise? Because I'm kind of... It's just a messed up one. I was very curious about it. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. I lost my chat. I got to find my chat again. Let's see. Anybody say anything on this? I like how they're making the choice for other women to decide how they should earn their money. I suppose this would mean that we should keep prostitution illegal because sexism. You know, I have heard that argument for some. Some feminists are definitely against it. Others are like, hey, you know what? It's a woman's body. If she wants to sell it like that for money, go ahead. And I'm kind of on that end. I'm definitely for legalizing a lot of this stuff that is like people's own private business. Basically, my whole motto is if it doesn't hurt other people in your use, then it should probably be legal. That's kind of where I stand on that whole issue. But yeah, those are a couple of the stories that stood out to me. They were definitely messed up. So yeah, I don't know that I've had a harder time following politics recently. I don't know about the rest of you. It's kind of like the political burnout. I've had a lot of interest in politics since I started following it. There was like a long period of time where I didn't, just because it's not interesting and blah. And then I kind of followed it more from a writing perspective, because I like to write. And you definitely can write a lot of interesting conflicts when you get political on it, or at least there's like political intrigue in your story. So that's kind of why I started to follow it. I find it less and less interesting though, because of all this like bullshit left and right politics, like how everybody has to get in their camp for something. It's not even just like the SJW left, like the anti stuff has been somewhat ridiculous in their response as well. Like I'm all for like the more, let's just have a reasonable response. Also, don't throw people into their own camps. So, I don't know. Those were the stories that caught my interest. I've been following a few other entertainment ones. Speaking of like the whole left and right shit, I followed a little bit of that Harry. I'm not like a huge Harry Potter fan. I enjoy it, at least the original 7 movies. But I've been following that dumb story where now they're pissed off that they're not making Dumbledore overtly gay, which has led to some very funny jokes that was going to be softcore porn. I don't know who else is. I know Ari's a Harry Potter fan, and she was annoyed by it. So there's a similar movement with cheerleaders because they're half naked. Yep. I could definitely see that. Cheerleading costs more than it pays in the advertising. Yeah, I don't know anything about cheerleading. I always saw it as kind of pointless, but if people wanted to do it, go right ahead. Yeah, no, 8 movies. I liked the Fantastic Beast movie. That one I found enjoyable. I thought it was going to be a one-off, but now that I hear it's like a 5-movie thing, I'm not as interested in it. So I'm not like super invested in this next movie now. So I just find it funny people are flipping out that they're not making Dumbledore overtly gay. And I'm like, did you watch any of the last like movies or even the books? Like, I haven't read all the books, but I'm pretty sure they didn't make him overtly gay in the books because it wasn't that important to his character. Got Xbox Live. I do not. I did not have a console when I was growing up. So I suck at console games. Maybe I'll do a video of me trying to play a console game at some point, because I tried to do, what was it? Probably a Halo game. I went to a friend's house and we tried to play Halo, and I get really confused. Like, I'm really good at PC games, but the second you put a controller in front of me, like, I cannot play a first-person shooter. I'm spending too much time moving around, then aiming the gun, then firing the gun. So boom, 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 and I miss. So I'm really bad with the Xbox and PlayStation. I have a lot of PC games. That's where I focus. I do have a Wii, but I rarely play it. And I just really have the party games. And every once in a while when I have friends over, we'll play like Mario Party or the kart racing or stuff like that. Sequels don't always have to be made. I agree. I'm kind of like... So I was somebody... We'll do a mini rant on Discovery here because this kind of sums up where I'm at with sequels at this point. I was somebody who had wanted a Star Trek series since Enterprise had been off the air for a while. So I waited for like 10 years for there to be a Star Trek series. And when we finally got it, I was like, oh, maybe it was better just to end there. So I'm kind of like that. Like, I think definitely stories have their expiration date. And I think the Star Trek franchise has kind of hit that. They have the potential, I think, to tell more stories in that universe. But I think at a certain point, you just kind of have to be done with it. That's where I'm like with Star Wars. I think it was a great trilogy, but the second they started doing prequels and now these new movies, I'm just kind of like, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. It just feels like they're making it to make money instead of telling a story. So I feel like they're just out of story ideas for Star Wars. Same with Stargate. For those who follow Stargate, I was watching, I saw the trailer for the new Stargate series, and they're following the exact same formula of Star Trek Discovery, where it's going to be another prequel series. It's behind a paywall, just like CBS All Access, and it just looks really bad. I wasn't a fan of Stargate Universe. I think it had potential, but I don't see why I should be interested in a story around their discovery of the Stargate. From what it looks like, I guess there was an issue getting the Stargate back to America, like the Nazis wanted it or something. So the show's focusing, I guess, on that conflict because they can't activate the Stargate and go to other planets for the era they've set the Stargate show in, because that's what Stargate SG-1 was. That was them first going to other planets. So I don't see how a prequel before that's going to be that interesting. Have you been following the race realism conversation? No, I have not. A lot of I have completely avoided that, mainly because a lot of people who debate it I just don't care about. I hate Andy Worski, and so I know everybody was talking about his debate. So I avoided that. I didn't care to watch it because I didn't really care to listen to Richard Spencer. Plus, I feel like race realism, like the problem with the way the debate is it's definitely becoming a left versus right issue, or it's like I think both sides have points in a way, and not one of them's completely right, but people will have to treat it like one camp's completely right or not. And it's definitely coming down to this whole like, I don't know. it's a complicated issue, and I think people are making it into a less complicated issue when they try to debate it, when it's really not. It is a complicated one. You play League of Legends? No, I've never touched League of Legends. I used to play Heroes of the Storm. I haven't recently because of their update to the ranking system. I used to be a high silver gold player. Like I fluctuate between there. And ever since they changed how the ranking system worked, I got thrown into Bronze League, and it's been the most atrocious thing playing with those people. So I'm not happy about that, which I'm sad because Heroes was introducing a lot of cool heroes that I wanted to play. So I'm kind of waiting until they fix that. So I'll check back next season to see if I get into it or not. So, but Heroes I always enjoyed more. I'm not a huge fan of MOBA games, so I only really checked out Heroes because I liked the Blizzard universe. Though I have my own problems with Blizzard too, because I saw their story where they're now stalking people on like for Overwatch on social media and their YouTube comments. And if you're being a troll or you say something they don't like, they'll ban you. So I'm not happy with Blizzard's decision on that. So it's made it easier to not really play their games right now just because I haven't been. And that's kind of encouraging me not to. My last video I made for a contest for GTA 5 online. Do a live reaction if you want. Okay. I haven't played a GTA. I've played a little bit. We used to I had a friend in high school. He used to bring his iPad to school and we played GTA. And we once challenged my friend to drive in GTA, obeying the law. I'll have to see if I can pull that video up somewhere because it's fun. It's on an old hard drive here. But the game was he had to play GTA, obey the law. And so it was kind of like he was taking a driver's test. And it was funny. He had to last for 5 minutes. He couldn't run any red lights. He couldn't crash into any other cars. And then he drove into like a downtown area in the middle of a gunfight, and his car got shot and blew up. So we said he failed the contest at that point. Hello, low energy videos. How are you doing? But yeah, that Blizzard story was messed up. I definitely didn't enjoy that. All right, so I'll take any more questions if you guys have any more questions. Otherwise, those were all the stories I prepared. So I don't have anything more to bring to you. So I'm probably going to get going here in a bit. But yeah, so if you have any last questions before I leave, if you have any stories you want me to comment on, I can do that real quick here before I go. But again, next week I'll be ranking all of the Star Trek franchises, so you can see that. I'll have a Discovery video coming out shortly. I think that's why I haven't been. I've been debating what I want my next documentary series to be. I think I've been holding off on starting that just because in case I make a the history of how Discovery was, because it was an interesting story to follow. It's really a shame how that Star Trek series has turned out. Yeah, it's really hard to play. Like the whole point of GTA is breaking the law. So if you try to play it obeying the law, that can be fun. I show up and you are off. It's like I'm on Billy's stream. Yeah, I didn't plan to do super long. I only had a few stories I wanted to talk about. But yeah, you can go back and rewatch everything. It will be posted here. I was going to do individual videos for all these stories, but then I decided, I'll do a live stream. I haven't done a live stream really yet, so. Go ahead. You can pimp your shit. People go check out Dylan's video. But yeah, so, and then again, I'll be watching the DP Season 2, so maybe I'll make a video on those eventually. But it's not going to be anytime soon, because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about that. So, I definitely want to do a Discovery vid. The other thing is, and I don't know if I'm going to post it on this channel or not, because I don't know the interest that the audience will have for it as much. But since I do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons stuff, I've wanted to do a couple of videos on that. I have a gaming channel that I used to have. It's called Dominating Dominion. So you can check that out. I'm debating whether I'll post stuff over there for gaming, if I'll convert that channel, if I'll post it over here as well, or if I'll just make a new channel for that. I can't decide if I want to separate that content from this or not. So the history of anal sex, no thanks. I have a bad history with a friend in their anal sex story that I've been making fun of, and I don't care to I don't care to study it. That would be an interesting documentary, though. I wouldn't watch it or make it, but interesting concept. Yeah, it's definitely I'm having a difficult time figuring out what I want to do documentary on. because I had a lot of fun doing the DP one. So I want to find something I'm equally interested in to do one on, because there's so much you can do a documentary on, and there's definitely an audience for it. People seem to like that content. So yeah, I don't see any questions coming in. It's just a lot of comments. So I'll give you guys one more minute. If you want a question, you can ask it here real quick. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. So yeah, those are the videos you can expect coming up. Go ahead. You guys can follow me on Twitter, Admiral _Murphy. I'll be tweeting stuff out there. Since I showed off Instagram, you can follow me there too for pictures. I post pictures sometimes. So if you like pictures, Admiral _Murphy, because somebody already had the other one taken when I made this. The history of cam girls. When is it just porn? I like that. I like that title. I remember we were watching, it was like my first year away at college, because I went to a college that was around here, so I still lived at home. But when I transferred and went to another school, we watched the Super Bowl that year, and we got bored watching Katy Perry's live stream, or her show, like a halftime show or whatever. So we ended up watching a documentary on porn. So that was a thing. But yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. I'll post pictures there and all that stuff. And then I do have a Patreon. I guess I'll plug that here. You guys can support my Patreon. You can search it. It's Patreon, Admiral Murphy or _Murphy. Let's see. I don't actually know. We're going to search that. Let's see. If it loads. Here we go. Oh, I got another patron. Cool. I don't know who that is. I have to set up my Streamlabs too. I don't have Streamlabs set up. So, yeah, it's just Admiral Murphy. You can find me there. You can support my videos. So I'll eventually make sure people get their perks for that and all that. So yeah, you can check that out. If you want to throw a couple bucks my way, you can do that. It definitely supports the channel. Otherwise, just subscribing, checking back in is very much appreciated as well. Documenting on PewDiePie. I'm not that interested in PewDiePie, so I don't know if I'd do that. Oh, thanks, Fraxkull. I assume you're a $5 patron, so I'll definitely I have to make that end graphic, so I will definitely do that. Let's see. So I'll have that ready to go eventually. I think I'll do these Admiral Murphy logs. Maybe I'll try to do them once a week, because I enjoyed that. So I'll probably just do one, talk about some stories. I'm interested in what's going on with me. But yeah. So thank you, Fraxkull, for the support. You're a cool dude. If you guys don't know Fraxkull, he's somebody who's very supportive of a lot of the people you probably watch. So thank you, Fraxkull, for your support. But yeah, so thanks everybody for watching. I shall catch you guys in the future. Keep an eye out. More videos coming your way. Thanks for watching live, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.